Hello everyone, we are back for another pack prediction. Well, it's not really much of a prediction as much as it is the final remnants of what's coming out in BT14. But we are here to talk about the cards that are going to come out. And first and foremost, we're going to talk about the black cards. Well, the tail end of the black cards. So first we have High Commandramon, 4 cost to play, 4,000 DP, 2 to Digivolve. When attacking, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You may play 1 Digimon card among them with the D-Brigade Digipolice trait and play a 3 cost or less without paying its cost. Return the rest to the bottom of the deck, and also this card name is also treated as Commandramon, so that's another Commandramon hit when you're looking for your Commandramon effects. So that's nice. Has the inheritable all turns once per turn. When this Digimon would leave the battle area other than by your own effect, by deleting one of your other Digimon with D-Brigade trait, prevent it from leaving play. So another one, I believe the first Commandramon has something similar. So just gives the Commandramon deck a little bit more permanence with some of their higher end monsters. So that's nice. Alright, next up we have the 7 cost to play, 7,000 DP, 3 to Digivolve, Cargodramon. So let's see. On play, when Digivolving, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You may play 1 Digimon card among them with D-Brigade, Digipolice trait, with a play cost of 4 or less without paying its cost. Then trash the rest. Okay, and inheritable of all turns once per turn. When one of your other Digimon are deleted, even by your own effect, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You may play 1 Commandramon without paying its cost, trash the rest. So if you were to use your inheritable and delete another of your Commandramon to keep your higher end, stronger monster on the board, you could use this effect to immediately just play another one. So that's nice. And next up, I believe we have Brigadramon, 12 cost to play, 12,000 DP, for the Digivolve. When Digivolving, delete any of your opponent's Digimon whose play cost adds up to 7 or less. And then opponent's turn, all your Digimon with D-Brigade and their traits gain blocker. So that is really nice in the fact that, okay, if you built the line properly, so you would have the Commandramon that has the same inheritable skill as High Commandramon, and then you would have Cargodramon's inheritable as well. So effectively, if someone tried to delete your Brigadramon by a card effect, as long as you have one other Commandramon on the field, you can effectively negate that by deleting it, and then you would use Cargodramon's skill to instantly play out another Commandramon. So if they try to do it again, you can delete it and still stay alive. Additionally, Brigadramon can block something that's much stronger than himself, and in order to stop the deletion, you can just delete one of your Commandramons to stop him from being trampled over. So that's a nice little thing as well. And not only that, even if, say for example, you didn't want to delete that other Commandramon, the second Commandramon that came out in play, you would still have 2 blockers on the field. So it gives you a little bit of that flexibility that I think the deck needed. But not really needed. It just makes it so it airs a little bit more away from Rookie Rush that the Commandramon deck has been known to be. But also we have the end of turn, once per turn, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You may play any Digimon among them with D-Brigade, Digipolice trait, whose play cost adds up to 7 or less without paying them. Okay, so it seems like, yes, they are still leaning heavily into the Rookie Rush of just spawning as many Commandramons as possible and rushing down your opponent with them. Or, you know, if you want to play more defensive, having a wall of Commandramon to block and just, you know, keep your life nice and thick. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. All right, next up, we have the 10 cost to play, 9,000 DP, 3 to Digivolve. I believe Platinum Numemon, 3 to Digivolve from a level 5 with Numemon in its name. On play and when Digivolving, by trashing 1 card with Numemon in its name from your hand, gain 2 memory. So effectively, you can just Digivolve into this for, as long as your opponent doesn't have a memory blocker, Digivolve for 1. That's not bad. And on deletion, you may play 1 level 5 or lower Digimon card of Numemon or Monzemon in its names from your hand without paying the cost. So you can get a nice little, I'm just going to call it a poop loop between Monzemon and Platinum Numemon, because I believe Monzemon's skill is something like along the effect, on play, take a Digimon with Numemon in its name from your trash and tuck it under to, oh gosh, I can't remember. But I can't remember right now, but it does work very nicely. Take my word for it for right now. I might build a deck on it later, or at least preview a deck for it later and, discuss that then. All right, so we covered black. Let's move on now to red. Red, the most beloved of the colors in Digimon card game. So now we have the 5 cost to play, 5,000 DP, 2 to Digivolve Greymon, 2 to Digivolve from a Agumon, 2 to Digivolve from a level 3 of Agumon's name. When attacking, this Digimon gains 2,000 DP for the turn. Then, if you have a Tamer with Tai, Kamiya in his name, gain 1 memory. Okay, decent. As if Greymon needed any more support, but hey, there you go. Inheritable, your turn. When this Digimon has Greymon, Omnimon in his name, gain 2,000 DP, so just more power. All right, next up we have the option card. I think it's Note. Let's see. Okay, sorry, it took me a second. It's called Mega Flame. My Japanese is not as good as it used to be. Okay, so main, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 DP or less. If you have a Digimon of Greymon's name, delete one of your opposing Digimon with the lowest DP instead. That is a powerful option card for just 4 costs. And I'm going to say that because you can delete... Let's see. Okay, so if your opponent is really running a single stack deck, if you have a Digimon on the field with Greymon in his name, it could just be a level 2. You can pop anything on your opponent's side of the field if it's... Not anything. If your opponent only has 1 monster on your opponent's side of the field, even if it's strong or weak, you get to pop it. That's a really good card. And the security effect, activate this card's main effect. Alright, next up we have the 3 cost to play, Tai Kamiya. Start of your main phase, one of your Digimon with Vaccine trait gets 2,000 DP for the turn. Your turn, when a card is removed from your opponent's security stack, by suspending this Tamer, gain 1 memory. Okay, so this is a nice, generically good red Tamer. So this can work for the Greymon decks because a lot of them are Vaccine. And, they want power. And when Greymon decks are typically swinging for multiple checks, or if you're running the Black War Greymon, Black War Grey X, well, no, that effect triggers on your opponent's turn. So never mind on that one. But for the most part, they're almost always swinging for multiple checks or just swinging very aggressively. So you're almost always going to get that effect of gaining 1 memory. So this can work very well in the Greymon deck, and it can also work in the Bird deck, which I think may be getting some more support in BT15 only because we have not seen Bergermon Ace or Garudamon Ace. And I do believe that we're going to see an ace of all the first Digidestin in the very foreseeable future. So just keep an eye on this card because it may be splashable between the decks. All right, moving on, we will cover... Oh gosh, what is this one? I believe it's Dragon of Courage, actually. So 4 calls to play. While you have a Tamer of Tai Kamiya in his name, you may use this card, ignoring its color requirements, and main by placing 1 Greymon and 1 Metal Greymon from your trash as the bottom Digivolution cards of one of your Agumon. It may Digivolve into a War Greymon from your hand, ignoring Digivolution requirements and without paying its cost. Okay, so it just gives your Agumon another ability to warp. Okay, so yeah, from Rookie to Mega. What's not good about that? You just have to have Tai Kamiya in the play area and you're good to go. Security effect, activate this card main effect. You may play 1 Agumon from your hand or trash without paying the cost, then add this card to your hand. Okay, not bad. And let's talk about the card that everyone knew was going to be in this, and BT14. War Greymon. Okay, so we have the beefy 12 cost to play, 12,000 DP, 4 to Digivolve, War Greymon. That is a 4 to Digivolve from a level 5 with Greymon in his name. So, while you have a Tamer with Tai Kamiya in his name, and your opponent has a Digimon with at least 10,000 DP on the field, one of your Agumon may Digivolve into this card in your hand for a cost of 4, ignoring Digivolution requirements. So, in other words, another ability to warp straight from Agumon into War Greymon. Oh boy, we're going to see... I feel like there's never going to be a format where we're not going to see Greymon. Just, if not being oppressive, just at least putting the fear of red in you. Alright, and when Digivolving, this Digimon gains Raid. So attacks the Digimon attacks the Digimon, an unsuspended Digimon with the highest DP on the field. Okay, great. And when attacking, if you have a tamer, this Digimon gains security attack +1 and piercing. So, 12,000 DP. You have to have Takumi on the field in order to even use the warp effect. So, if we look back at the Takumi from this set, you're at least going to have 2,000 DP. If you don't have the Greymon in this set, in the line too, let's just assume you do. So that's 16k DP. So a 16k DP with raid, sec +1, and piercing. Oh boy. Well, you better win the game before this card comes out because it's going to punish you and it's going to punish you hard. Okay, but that's red. Probably going to be the most arguably one of the most powerful in the set. So let's move on to yellow. Alright, now for yellow, we have the other secret rare, Angemon, 6 cost to play, 6,000 DP, 3 to Digivolve, 2 to Digivolve from Patamon. When attacking, by deleting this Digimon, activate one of the following effects. Place one of your opponent's Digimon with virus trait at the bottom of your opponent's security stack, or one of your opponent's Digimon get minus 5,000 DP for the turn. And on deletion, place this card at the bottom of your security stack. Then, if you have a tamer in play, you may hatch a Digi-Egg from your breeding area. So, it can attack, delete itself, and free heal. And if your opponent has a virus trait Digimon, does not specify level. So, if you're fighting a Beelzemon deck and you're trying to figure out how to get rid of that big body on board, well, there you go. Just attack with this, blow it up, and tuck it to the bottom of the deck. Easy peasy. Inheritable, on deletion, place one yellow Digimon with vaccine trait from your hand to the bottom of your security stack. So, either way, even if you Digivolve on top of this Digimon or you attack with this Digimon, you get to heal. Nice. Real nice. I feel like it really goes well with how Angemon came into the scene in the original Digimon Adventure. Okay, nice. Okay, next up we have the 4 cost to play. I believe it's Heaven's Knuckle. Main, activate one of the following effects. One of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 6,000 DP for the turn. Or, by deleting one of your Angemon, place one of your opponent's Digimon at the bottom of your opponent's security stack. Okay, so that's hold on, that's actually really good. So, by having Angemon on the field, you can delete it, recover with its own skill, and then take one of your opponent's Digimon and tuck it to the bottom of your opponent's security stack. So if they have a prevent deleting effect like Brigadramon has, this can bypass it because it doesn't delete you, it just tucks you. So that's a nice get around for nuisance or persistent Digimon, or perhaps Digimon that have a really punishing on deletion effect. Okay, that's not a bad one for the new Angemon line. All right, next up we have the 3 cost to play TK. On play, by returning the top card of your security stack to your hand, you may place one yellow Digimon with vaccine trait from your hand at the bottom of your security stack. So you can do a nice little switch. Alright, and your turn. When a card is added to your security stack, which this card will do, you may suspend this to gain 1 memory, even though that says Mori. So yeah, effectively, if you use the first effect, you can play TK for free. I mean, not free. Play it for 2. Okay, not bad. And of course, you have the not the mandatory, but the normal tamer skill. Play this card without paying its memory cost for the security effect. All right, now we have the remainder of the yellow. We have the 5 cost to play, 5,000 DP, 2 to Digivolve, Centaurimon. When Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3,000 DP for the turn. Okay, nothing to write home to mom about, but it's an okay effect. And when attacking, inheritable. When attacking once per turn, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2,000 DP for the turn. It'd be a little bit nicer if that wasn't once per turn. It might make it a little bit more, I'm not going to say useful, but it would make it more impactful. But hey, what can you expect for an uncommon? Alright, let's move on next to the 7 cost to play, 7,000 DP for the Digivolve King. This is just Edamon on vacation, as my Edamon Stan friend calls it. Alright, so 3 to Digivolve from a level 4 Digimon with Sukumon in his name. Security effect, if you have 3 or more cards with Sukumon in their name in your trash, you may play 1 level 6 card with Edamon in his name from your hand without paying the cost. Now, you're probably, unless your opponent's trashing your security, you're almost always going to get that effect off. And I'm going to tell you why. Because its on deletion skill says, place this card at the bottom of your security stack. So you Digivolve up into Edamon. Whatever happens, you attack with it, you attack in security, it dies, your opponent blows it up, whatever. On deletion, it's going to place itself at the bottom of the security stack, which means it's going to give you plenty of time to get at least 3 Sukumons in your trash. So unless your opponent's just not attacking you and you're bricking really hard, you're going to get Sukumons in trash. So you're going to be able to play that card. And more than likely, it's going to be King Edamon. So King Edamon or Prince Edamon. Either way, you get to just push out a Mega for free. It's nice. And on deletion, place 1 Edamon from your trash at the bottom of your security stack. So if you Digivolve on top of it, you're still getting a heal. It's not bad at all. All right. Next up, we have the 11 cost to play, 11,000 DP, 3 to Digivolve, Gigimon. On play, when Digivolving, you may place 1 Tamer card from your hand on top of your security stacks, and all turns, when you play a Tamer, you may play a level 3 Digimon from your hand without paying the cost. So it'll effectively, okay, so that's not bad. So it lets you put a Tamer to the top, unless your opponent's trashing security. At least it would to some degree let you play a Tamer free because you put it to the top and you know it's going to be checked. So that's nice. And you may play a level 3 Digimon from your hand without paying the cost. One way to abuse that, and I just thought of it off the top of my head, it might not be the most efficient way, but you could put a Tamer on the top of your security stack and you could have Lucemon just level 3 in your hand. When that Tamer comes out, whatever on-play effect, if it has one, resolves, you immediately can play Lucemon, which is a 10k DP rookie, and then immediately heal. It's not bad. That wouldn't be a bad addition. Okay. All right, so that does add in a little bit of versatility. All right, and last up for yellow, we have the 4 cost to play, 5,000 DP to 2 Digivolve, Unimon with Barrier. Okay, not much else to talk about. All right, moving on. All right. And here we have the remainder of green. So first off, we have the 4 costs to play, 3,000 DP to the Digivolve Togemon. Your turn, once per turn, when you would play a green Tamer from your hand by suspending one of your green Digimon, reduce the play cost by a whopping 3. That is not bad at all for green. Let's see, when you would play a green Tamer by suspending one of your green, yeah, reduce the play cost by 3. So if you have a memory setter, which traditionally are 4, you play it for 1. And if it's just a versatility Tamer, you can play it for free. That's not bad at all. And inheritable effect, your turn, once per turn, when this Digimon would Digivolve by suspending one of your green Digimon, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. And green is known to constantly try to reduce the Digivolution cost, so that just adds to pretty much what green does now. All right, yeah, not bad. One difference between this one and I think other ones, you don't have to have a Tamer on the field to reduce the Digivolution cost. Okay. All right, next up we have the 6 cost to play, 7,000 DP, 3 to Digivolve, Piximon. On play, when Digivolving, until the end of your opponent's turn, one of your opponent's Digimon can't unsuspend. All right. Nothing else to say here. That might be a good tech if you're trying to do Rosemon Blast Mode, because Rosemon Blast Mode would want multiple unsuspended Digimon on your opponent's side of the field. So that could be one card you can use to just stop one of your opponent's Digimon from unsuspending, so you can just punish a little bit more with Rosemon Burst Mode. All right. Next up, we have the 7 cost to play, 7,000 DP, 3 to Digivolve, Okuagamon. End of opponent's turn. Once per turn, by suspending one of your Digimon, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Add 2 green Digimon cards from among them to your hand. Return the rest of the deck bottom of your return the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. So that's effectively a free pot of greed. So you just have Koagamon there sitting, and then immediately at the end of your opponent's turn, you suspend one of your Digimon, and then effectively, if you're running an all-green deck, add 2 cards because you're looking at the top 5. The odds are in your favor. You're grabbing a Digimon. So that's not bad at all. That's actually depending on how you're running your green deck, if you're constantly suspending your opponent's Digimon and they can't unsuspend, Okuamon could effectively just keep drawing you cards almost indefinitely. That's not bad. Your opponent will have to answer this because you will just be continuously gaining hand advantage. Okay. All right, that's nice. That's nice. All right, that's it for green. So next up, we're going to move on to purple. Purple, which arguably might be, I'm not sure yet, it might be the more broke between red and purple because I'm going to show you Solugamon. So, Solugamon is a 8 cost to play, 8,000 DP, 3 to Digivolve, Society of Chaos, X Antibody, and Dark Animal Digimon. And if you haven't guessed, it does fit in with Eiji Nishishima, I believe is the name. So this completes the line, and this line is kind of bonkers. So Solugamon says, when Digivolving, you may play one level 3 or lower card with Dark Animal or Society of Chaos trait from your trash without paying its cost. And if Eiji Nagasumi is in this Digimon's Digivolution cost, increase the level by 1. So you can play a level 4 or below with this card's Digivolution effect. When attacking effect, by trashing one card in your hand, gain 1 memory. If you remember, the level 2 Digimon says, if you trash a card from your hand, you may if you trash a Dark Animal card from your hand, you may Digivolve into that card on top of this Digimon. So, you're already gaining 1 memory by using this effect. You immediately Digivolve, and Fenrir Lugamon is the one you're going to Digivolve into, and Fenrir Lugamon has some pretty good effects. I'm going to go into that in a second. I'm going to backpedal to Solugamon. But just know, it's adding up to just shenanigans. All right, next up we have the 7 cost to play, 9,000 DP, 3 to Digivolve, Hellugamon. End of your turn. Delete this Digimon and draw 2 cards. Then you may return 1 Lugamon from your trash to your hand. On deletion, you may trash up to 3 Dark Animal Society Chaos trait cards from your hand, then delete one of your opponent's level 3 or lower Digimon. For each card you trash with this effect, increase the level by 1. So if you trash 3 cards, you can delete a level 6. So a level 5 is drawing you 2 cards, deleting a level 6, and adding Lugamon back to the hand. That's really good. So you can swing, survive, like swing over a weak Digimon, swing in security if you're feeling brave, or if you're using Alliance, which is Eiji Nagasumi's inheritable effect. Swing into security, survive, delete an opponent's Digimon, and then start setting up for your real play next turn. And your real play is the next card I'm going to talk about, Fenrir Lugamon, which is a 12 cost to play, 12,000 DP, 4 to Digivolve, but that really doesn't matter. Some people say 4 is kind of high, but no, and it's going to be self-explanatory why it's not. So, Fenrir Lugamon, when Digivolving, you may play 1 level 4 or lower card with the Dark Animal Society Chaos trait from your trash without paying its cost. If Eiji Nagasumi is in this Digimon Digivolution cards, increase the level by 1. So you can play a level 5 or lower card with this card's skill. And its when attacking skill says, once per turn, by deleting one of your opponent's level 3 or lower Digimon, unsuspend this Digimon. For each Digimon you have in play, increase the level by 1. So you can delete depending on how many other monsters you have on your field. And if you use Solugamon's effect, you already have at least 1 other on the field. So that's a level 4 or lower. And Fenrir Lugamon spawns 1. So that's a level 5 or lower. So if you already had 1 card on the field when Solugamon came out, you can delete, again, a level 6 Digimon. That's insane. But it's not just ending there. Your turn ends only when you give your opponent 3 or more memory. So, let's recap. If you built this entire line, Lugamon, Oh gosh, what is the? It's Lugamon, Lugarmon, Solugar, Solugarmon, and then Fenrir Lugamon. So both the rookie and the champion will gain you one memory when you play something with the by either one of these cards' effect. So if you Digivolve into Solugamon for 3, move out, swing on security, you immediately play something from trash that gives you 2 memories. So it's like you only Digivolved for 1. And then immediately you can Digivolve into Fenrir Lugamon, spawn something else on the field, which triggers Solugamon's effect to unsuspend this Digimon. It's so well built. And not only that, you got to remember, Eiji Nagasumi has Alliance and is inheritable. So with whatever monster Solugamon played, you can use its DP to add to it, and then also give a security attack +1. Or you could be defensive because Eiji also gives blocker, if I remember correctly. The versatility of this one single stack is just very, very intimidating. Like I play with it a little bit, even when I didn't have Eiji Nagasumi. You really punish your opponent because you can control the game. You really get more. You get more tempo with this because you don't have to worry about going. Not so much about being choked because now your opponent has to have 3 memory in order for it to be their turn. And if you gain memory on your turn, you can just keep extending your plays. It's insane. But yeah, this might be the more broken card between War Greymon and Fenrir Lugamon. You're probably going to see a few of these decks just popping around. But that's enough about this. We need to cover the rest of the purple. Now, before I spread misinformation, let me correct myself for what I said previously about Fenrir Lugamon's effect. So I mistakenly doubled Solugamon's effect with Fenrir Lugamon's. Fenrir Lugamon's effect is actually, when Digivolving, you may play 1 level 4 or lower card with Dark Animal Society Chaos trait from your trash without paying the cost. If Eiji Nagasumi is in his Digimon's Digivolution cards, add 2 to the maximum number of Digimon you can play with this effect. So in other words, just with Fenrir Lugamon's effect, you can play up to 3 Digimon from your trash. And you can just use those 3 Digimons, again, to use its when attacking skill to delete up to a level 6 Digimon. Still insane. But moving on. So next up, we're going to cover the stragglers. We have the 7 cost. I mean, yeah, it's kind of high on the high end, but the 7 cost to play is 6,000 DP, 3 to Digivolve, Devimon. Devimon, on play, when attacking, trash the top 3 cards of your deck. Your turn, this Digimon gets 1,000 DP for every 3 cards in your trash, so it can be a champion that can get really buff really quick, especially if you're running it in like a Ghoulmon deck or even Creepymon. And on deletion, trash one random card in your opponent's hand. It's not a bad on deletion effect. But moving on, I think it's Darkwing Delusion is the option card. 1 cost to play. Main, trash the top 3 cards of your deck, then one of your Digimon with Devimon's name, gaining security attack +1. So if you have Devimon on the field and you play the option card, he's already going to have 7,000 DP with sec +1, and on deletion, he trashes opponent's card in your hand when he dies. So there's no reason to really not attack if you have this, unless your opponent has a blocker. But yeah, they may be building up in BT14 to maybe another Venom or Malamildismon. Who knows? Don Devimon could make another appearance, and we could see a surge of the Devimon decks. But moving on. We have the 7 cost to play, 7,000 DP, 3 to Digivolve. Skull Satamon, on play when Digivolving. Trash the top 2 cards of both players' decks. Okay, not bad. Seems like Mill might become really a thing. Alright, your turn. Once per turn, when a card is trashed from your opponent's deck, gain 1 memory. Okay. Yeah. So, we're probably going to see a lot more, not a lot more, we're probably going to start seeing decks that are focused on milling your opponent out rather than the traditional swinging for all of the security and then trying to win that way. All right. Next up, we have the 7 cost to play, 7,000 DP, 3 to Digivolve. Skull Greymon, 3 to Digivolve from a level 4 of Greymon name. When Digivolving, by trashing one card in your hand, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level, and one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level. Not bad, a 1-for-1. On deletion, you may play one Agumon from your trash without paying the cost. If you have a Tamer with Takumi in his name, that Digimon gains Rush. So you could swing with Skull Greymon into security. If it doesn't explode in security, you could blow it up with like Darkness Claw and then spawn Agumon and swing with Rush. So you can get a nice cheeky little 2 checks with it. It's not bad. Alright, next and last up, we have the 4 cost to play, 4,000 DP, 2 to Digivolve. Fangmon, on play when attacking, return 1 purple Digimon card with the Dark Animal trait from your trash to the hand, then trash 1 card from your hand. Okay, so that just helps add to the whole Lugamon line. And let's see, I do think I almost missed it, but we do have one other card that we need to talk about, and that is Ghoulmon. Ghoulmon, I think, is going to be the partner of... It's going to be the partner of... Oh gosh, I just said his name. Creepymon. So, Ghoulmon is a 11 cost to play, 11,000 DP, 3 to Digivolve. When Digivolving, when attacking. When Digivolving, when attacking. That is going to be a problem. Once per turn, for every 10 cards in your trash the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. So, yeah, Creepymon might start seeing a surgence now. Also, when attacking, so we have 2 when attacking skills. Once per turn, if your opponent has 10 or more cards in their trash, which they almost more likely will, this Digimon also gains security attack +1 for the turn. So you're trashing your opponent's deck, kind of forcing them to upgrade their speed and their tempo of how they're playing, possibly getting rid of key cards out of their deck, and you're swinging for multiple checks. Okay, and it's a Demon Lord, so it can also work with Ai and Mako. Alright. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I mean, I'm definitely going to make a deck around it, but I'm not sure how I feel about this. We might start seeing troll decks being made. But hey, I guess it puts a little bit of different life into the games. So we'll see how things go as we move down the line. All right. The last 2 colors, the single colors, we have white and we have Genai. So Genai, 3 cost to play. On play, you may reveal the top 5 cards of your deck, add 1 level 3 Digimon card and 1 non-white Tamer card from among them to your hand, return the rest to the bottom of the deck. In opponent's turn, when an opponent's level 5 or higher Digimon attacks, by suspending this Tamer, move one of your Digimon in your breeding area to your battle area. So, right now, I don't see this card being a problem. It could be in the future with the surgence of ace monsters, because the rationale is, okay, your opponent swings with a high level monster and you can use Genai to immediately move out. Couldn't you then therefore use a ace monster to blast Digivolve and then kind of wreak havoc on your opponent's plans? So this offers a little defensive versatility. Right now, the only one I can think of that might be a good play is Magna Angemon, only because you get to recover 1 on evolution. The other ones kind of really don't matter because your opponent's already attacking with a high level Digimon. So as of right now, this isn't a bad card. It's not a great card, but it could be a problem moving forward. I do also like the fact that it lets you add a Tamer to your hand. So any of the decks that are kind of Tamer dependent might want to slide 1 or 2 of these cards in. Just saying. All right. And lastly, the last blue card of the set is Marine Devimon. So Marine Devimon, 6 cost to play, 7,000 DP, 3 to Digivolve. on play when digivolving, return all level 3 Digimon to the owner's hands. So it's nice if you want to recover some of your rookies if you're bricking, you don't have anything else to digivolve and raising, or your opponent has an annoying level 3 that's a blocker or something like that, and you just want to get rid of it because it's an eyesore. So that'd be a nice little thing you can do just to bypass that. All right, so those are all the cards in BT14, I believe, that I've covered. So let's backpedal and take a look at all the cards that we had a prediction for. So looking through this list, we can already see that the gray are the ones that that's all been revealed and already been covered, and the yellow ones are ones that have not been predicted. So I did not think they were coming out. There's too many Digimon, and if I just made a list of all possible Digimon that could come out, it'd be too comprehensive. So I just like to be pleasantly surprised. So we can see for the most part we were kind of off on not a majority of them, but there was a lot that we didn't see coming. I mean, some of them were entertained, like Genai. But Genai, I was just like, he's not really a tamer. He was an assistant to the tamers. So I didn't think he would come in, but he was a candidate slotted for coming in. But I don't mind saying I just missed it. But I say we had a success rate about like maybe, and looking at this and looking with the previous ones, I'm going to say 40%. So a little worse than BT13. But, it's an incremental process. All right, so that's all we have for this pack prediction video. I do have some decks that I've made that I want to share with y'all, get your opinion on. And also, there's going to be a pack prediction for BT15. But first, we're going to have one for EX5. EX5, I already believe we've confirmed that we're going to get all of the Digimon Sovereign from Digimon Season 4. And I believe they're also going to be Ace Monsters. So they're just going to be Blast Digivolve. So they're going to be defensive to some degree. And they're going to have low play costs. So you might want to grab your copy of Akiho and Ruri. Ruri, I believe is the name. The tamer from Ghost Game. Because they mention Digimon Sovereign. I mean, she mentions Digimon Sovereign in her text. And also some of the cards from BT13. I believe it's, Leopardmon's line. So we kind of got hints that this was coming. But we weren't sure until now. So we know we're going to see the Digimon Sovereign. So we might also see more support for Digimon from Season 3. So we might finally see that Bio-Merge Rika. That's what my fingers are crossed for. But we're not sure just yet. But for now, I'm going to adjourn this video because it's getting kind of long. Tell me what you think of what might be coming out. And we're going to just chime in later. All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining in, taking your time out today. And I hope you have a great day. Have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.